This Off the Grid Talks episode is brought to you by Mototesto Overland Adventure Equipment, pioneering overlanding lifestyle, gear, and rigs in the Philippines. Meet Anton Poplett from South Africa, a dedicated advocate for basic necessities and a seasoned overlander. Raised amidst the tranquility of mountains, Anton has a decade of volunteering with the NSRI, driving him to make a difference. Join us as we gather invaluable overlanding tips based from Anton's vast overlanding international and local experience. And now let's head towards the interview with the man himself, Anton Poplett, and let's go!
So my name is Anton Poplett. I have a channel 4x4 out far, and my foundation goes and helps kids in Africa with specs and human wildlife conflict. So I work with on the elephant side, and I work on the lions and wildlife side. Well, it originally started off just to help people set up their rigs, because I was finding people were adding on too much onto their rigs. It was adding on weight, and then it evolved slowly into my own little humanitarian act. So it's completely changed the dynamics of what I do now on social media. I wanted my daughter to experience the outdoors in a safe environment. I grew up in the mountains, so for me it was important that she could go and experience the bush, the wildlife in a safe environment, and that just created a whole different scenario. So going across borders, I live in Africa, borders can be a little bit challenging, and corruption's one of them, but generally borders are safe, but they're getting a lot smarter these days. Jeez, I got to think of a country that I've been through that's created a lot. If you don't have all your ducks in a row and you don't have all your paperwork in order, it's very challenging these days to try and cut corners. So they literally stop you, but then the extra questions start arriving. Can you help my family today? Can you do these type of things? And you've got to be quite polite and friendly before you can move on. So, that's part of the challenge these days, is just making sure everything's done. So a lot of it happens 6 months prior to leaving. It takes a long time to get ready. Sometimes you've got to get a permit if you're doing filming. You've got to get a permit, especially working with wildlife. You can't just rock up and put a drone up or take a film, So getting permits is now becoming the next biggest problem. Yeah. The real thing is culture. Cultures differ so easily and so quickly, and that makes a huge difference. From South Africa going into Botswana, going into Madagascar, Tanzania, these regions have completely different tribes, and the different tribes have different ways that they live and what they do, and by learning those cultures is amazing. I mean, you can't hide from the joy that it brings you. So luckily the majority of people do speak a little bit of English, but the ones that don't, it actually doesn't matter, because they see the gestures, they see what you want to do, and most of them are like, yes, you can camp here. I've gone across the borders into certain places. We've wild camped with nomadic cattle ranchers and couldn't speak a word of English, but they let us stay with them for the night. They had a campfire all night going, so it was safe enough. And we shared our food together. We sat with them just around the fire and just chilled, and just that enough is relaxing and safe. So the core items will always stay the same. Enough fuel. As long as you can do fuel for over 800 to 1,000 kilometers on one set, so your tanks and everything are all put together, you can cover the fuel. The distance is key. Tires are always important. Got to have the right tires, got to have the right brakes. Sleeping you can kind of get away with. Food is important, but food you can also top up as you go along. So you don't have to buy all your food and all your water when you're home and then drive up through Africa with it. You can actually just top up as you go. But the core items is to make sure that your engine is looked after, your tires are in order. Those are key. Without those, it's pointless. Yep. Oh, I've had some terrible ones. I've had a vehicle that had turned over with a baby in it, and being involved in, I've had some pretty hectic ones. And just being prepared on parts, those little things, having a proper medic bag. People don't take it seriously enough. Without a medic bag, you don't really, you can't do anything. In my medic bag, I carry stuff to clean the eyes, because if you can't see, It doesn't matter. If you break your arm, you can deal with it. But if you can't see anything, then you are stuck. Painkillers in case you've hurt yourself. But the second biggest is burn shields. If you get burnt by a fire or hot oil or something like that on your skin, you need burn shields. So, having the right equipment just makes it a lot safer for you. And what I end up finding is that I end up looking after other people because they're not equipped enough. They haven't prepared themselves. Regardless of the scenario, always stay warm, always. Make sure that you're warm and dry, because if you're cold and wet, you'll have the worst experience and you'll never want to go and do it again. And that will tarnish something that can be great. We've all been caught in water in rainstorms. We've all been caught in different scenarios that we were not generally prepared for. So as long, food you can deal with along the way, water you can deal with along the way. But as long as you're warm and dry, that's key. There's no right or wrong, and this is a serious thing. You can always take a cooler box and put your food in it. You don't have to have a full rig that costs hundreds of thousands. Everyone has that perception that I've got to fully kit myself out, but you don't. You can have a ground tent, you can have drinking water, and you can have your food. You can always make a fire wherever you go for cooking. There's no one perfect setup. So as long as you have enough to stay warm, dry, and shelter, you can take care of the rest, and it doesn't cost a lot of money. Guys, follow the channels, get out there, learn, research. You can follow my channel. I do the humanitarian work, 4x4@far.com. But then follow the guys in your own country. Don't think that the foreigners know more than the locals do. There's some really good guys out here that are capable of doing and helping with what you want to do.
Ending the night with Tim and Janice Tuason of Moto Tester and friends, it was really truly special. Thanks for joining us on this really short video. I hope you learned a lot so much about local overlanding and border crossing, among others. We wish Anton a safe trip back to South Africa, and we can't wait to welcome him back to the Philippines. Thanks again to Moto Testo for this opportunity. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you don't miss out on future episodes of Off the Grid Talks by Esteban. And as I always say, may peace be with you.